good afternoon and welcome from the House of Skintech. Today we are going to be discussing about the mid-face lift with the help of cork threads. We all have heard about the threads. Cork threads are very much similar like the polydioxane threads and extremely safe to be used on daily basis. I mean, we are doing the cork threads on the regular basis in the clinic. And this is one of the most efficient services which immediately gives you a gratifying result. Today we are going to show you a demonstration of one of our very beautiful clients who's already taken a couple of fillers in the past, and we have worked on her skin and the skin is quite healed. Today we are going to just work on the mid-face section to lift up the skin so that the skin looks a lot more tauter. We are going to demonstrate you the entire process. The process is very short and doesn't take much of the time, and the results are immediately seen. We are going to show as to how the procedure is being done and how instant the results are, and we hope you would like the video. A non-OT procedure, non-invasive procedure. I'm just going to give a little numbing before I actually enter the cork threads. The cork threads are usually more fatter threads than the usual linear threads that we all have used in our past. Most of the doctors are very much regular with the softer threads or the earlier threads. Cork is basically a bi-directional thread, so the anchors are much more stronger and the efficacy is a little more longer when you actually mix it with the other modalities. In this case we are basically going to do the procedure, followed by which we have also aligned the patient to take the other semi-invasive procedure so as to enhance the effect of the cork thread for a little longer period of time. I'm just going to give a little small bleb of injection to numb the area, and once we numb the area, we will show you as to how simple the procedure is. You can see a visible bleb. I'm giving a local anesthesia on that area. Followed by which I make a little entry point. This is the size of the usual cork thread, which is quite long, and the benefit of the thread is that you do not have to inject too many threads. A person as young as her would probably need preferably 2 threads to get a good lift, and since the thread is also bi-directional, I think the anchoring is much more stronger compared to the usual threads that we have all used in the past. So I'm going to show you as to how we enter into the fat compartment. We go to the deep fat compartment. There is a slight pain that the patient feels, but the movement is quite swift. See, as you can see, that the thread is quite long, so with only one entry point, I practically reached closer to the nasolabial junction. Now I'm ensuring and I'm pulling the needle out and the thread stays inside. Much simpler lunchtime procedure, not a big pinch on the pocket, at the same time much faster. Now I'm again pulling the needle out, the thread stays inside. After putting both the threads inside, you just have to ensure that The lift is the kind of lift that we are looking at. If you look at both the sides now, the patient can actually feel the lift when I actually pull the thread. So which shows that the thread is actually strong enough and big and quite long, which can actually, wherein just the 2 threads can bring about a huge change. If you see both the sides, you can see a great amount of lift that we can practically achieve by just pulling the threads. And whatever is the desirable length of the thread, we would keep it. The rest we would simply cut. I hope you can actually see the difference between the 2 cheeks right now, the 2 mid faces in fact. This face being more oval and more lifted, however we are yet to work on the other end, on the other side. Finish off both the sides. As you can see that it is not a very painful procedure. We haven't given any anesthetic or a painkiller to the patient here. To lift the lower face, wherein the treatment can be done from the age group anywhere from as early as 25 onwards up to 70. And the beauty of the procedure is, I think, that the results are instant. So there is an instant lifting without doing very expensive procedures like thermage or other procedures which would otherwise take a lot of time. So if someone has a social occasion or someone is looking at a procedure which would immediately sort of work out on them, then this is one of the lunchtime procedures that we are suggesting to our patients. So you can always mix it with the fillers or the Botox or an RF on the very same day. You can perform an RF followed by which you can actually do this procedure, and the overall effect and the impact is going to be beautiful, I think. So we are doing these procedures very commonly with multiple non-related procedures on the very same day, and the overall session is not very lengthy and the effects are seen immediately. Much of a pain, doesn't take a lot of time, and immediately we can see that the facial skin has been lifted up. Within a couple of days, which is like close to around 3 to 7 days, the patient will be able to sort of see the maximum impact. But immediately also you can actually see a visible result. And we always suggest the patients that when you actually mix these treatments with other treatments, as I discussed earlier, like Botox or a filler, the effect will stay a little longer. Or else you can also mix it with the other non-ablative procedures or ablative procedures to enhance the effects of the overall muscle lifting. We hope you enjoyed the procedure. This was a complete lunchtime procedure that we were thinking for a very, very long time to actually post on our YouTube. We hope you enjoyed the complete video presentation, and we shall be back to you very, very soon with something more interesting in the field of cosmetic dermatology. Thank you so much from the House of Skintech Studioz.
Devoshri. I like this procedure which Dr. Negi has done, and really I'm feeling awesome, and I'm not feeling any pain, and